of Oz by Ellie and Jessie. Well,
there was a mom and a dad and a daughter and the husband and the baby.
And the baby. And
another daughter and the brother.
The brother. And the two dogs.
Beauty and the Beast.
Well, this is a normal American family, and they just wanted to go on vacation, but then they could. Oh yeah, they also had a budgie, and well, it was a very pretty budgie, and they were just going on vacation. But,
through the desert.
But they decided to go through the desert. The crazy ass. They just decided to go through the desert, and to stop at this gas station, and then this man there, and it's all a bit freaky, and he's
sends them through the desert.
And he sends them through the desert, and then you don't see his face, but then this man has like these sparks, and he just cuts them on the road, and he pops the wheels, and it goes, and then they have to stay there. They have to stay there because they've got flat tires, and they just can't get out the desert. And the daddy goes back to the gas station, and he sat in the car.
And then there's a man behind him.
But you don't see the man's face, just hear him talking, and he's like, and he's just a bit like, I can see you. And then the man looks behind him, and you just see him go through the mines, don't you, Ellie?
Down to the mines.
Down to the mines with these crazy ass motherfucking niggers.
And
then he goes back to the caravan, and then there's happy family there, just being happy.
And then all I hear is, help! Help me!
And the dad is on a bonsai. He's on a bonsai. He's on a bonsai.
And the child put him out with
fire
extinguishers.
And they're like, ah! And then they don't realize that the little lady
she's about 16, I'd say.
She's asleep in her bed
with earphones in.
And then this overgrown potato, big overgrown potato walks in, and he's like. And he's like, puts his hands over her mouth, and like he rapes her, doesn't he, Ellie? It's not pleasant. He rapes her, and then this scrawny little motherfucking nigger just comes right in, and he's like, baby,
and he's like, baby,
and he tries to. I don't know, with the baby, and then
he's like, he grabs.
Now the overgrown potatoes are raping the little girl, and he just goes over the baby. Then he sees the budgie. He sees the budgie, and then he bites the budgie's head off,
and he goes.
And he starts eating the budgie. It's just crazy, and he's just like eating the budgie. And then the other sister walks in, and he's like,
and she like, and he
then he starts like, he gets a knife, and he just starts licking the baby, like. Like this, like licking a bobby. and then
she grabs a screwdriver
and it stabs him in the foot. And then he threatens to stab the baby, and then he just kills her. Don't know how, I forgot. Just kills her.
Then the old grandmama comes in, and he shoots her right in there, but she don't die.
She don't die. She just got a massive hole through her chest, and she's like, oh my god! And then he's just like, oh my god! And then she's not dead or anything.
Not dead, but then trying to stop the bleeding with some towels.
And then the dad is just like burnt to a crisp on his bonsai.
And they take the baby to the mine.
Then they just go off to these mines, these crazy ass inbred little things, and they take the baby. And then you get the one with the glasses, and he tries to go look for his baby because it's his baby, and it's like doesn't want to lose the baby.
And he takes the dog.
And he just takes the dogs, and he's just.
And then he ends up in a fridge.
He ends up in a freezer. He ends up in a freezer, and he wakes up and he's got his blood on him. And then he walks in and he hears someone singing, and it's a bit like, who's this nigga singing? And then you see this massive headed little freak in a wheelchair, and he starts singing the American anthem, and he's like, breakfast time. And then that scared the shit out of me. I don't know, it just scared the shit out of me. And then the overgrown potato comes up behind him with an axe and like tries to kill him and shit, and it's just all
he
crazy.
gets off his finger. Well, he gets off his fingers,
He cuts off his fingers, and then he's still standing, and he's still standing, Jess, he's still standing, after getting his fingers chopped off. His fingers! And then he's trying to find him, and then he sat there, and then
he goes, get the baby.
No, he has to kill the overgrown potato first, and then he stabs a screwdriver through his foot, and then he goes up behind him, and then he gets the axe and guts it through his throat, and then we're all clapping by there, like, you go, Geggy, you go, you go, Geggy. And then the one in the wheelchair is like, kill the baby. And then the dog sees him and just starts eating the shit out of him, and
he's like, ah!
And we're all just like, you go, doggy, you go. And then
he goes for the baby.
He goes trying to look for the baby, and then there's these little inbred kids, and they're just like proper ugly, and they're like, will you play with us, mister? And then I was just like, you should have just shoot him. But he never shoot him. He just tried to look for the baby, and then you're looking there, and then there's a woman, and he's looking over the baby, this like really ugly woman, and
then he gets the baby,
and then who raped the little girl looked, and then he opens the blanket, and it's not the baby. The baby is not there. It's not there, Jess. The baby's not there. Guess what was there? Go on, guess. What was there? A pig. And it was squealing. It was squealing like a pig. It was a pig. And then he goes, Jenny! And he starts running after Jenny with the baby. And then they're on top of the hills. And
she gives the Geggy the
baby back, and she's just holding the no, we got that wrong. We sorry. And well, the inbred one just comes up to Johnny and like tries to like kill him and shit, and then he just like gets his gun and just like and we just thought he was dead, but he wasn't dead. He tried to go kill him again, and then the inbred Johnny runs off the hill onto him, and then the book dies.
And then that's the end. And then you have the binoculars at the end.
And it goes, watch it next time for Hills Fast 2.